here's the thing. And I thought, well, that's exactly the right thing to say. Here's the thing. What's the thing?
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Mr. Waltz, Miss Lou, it is always an honor to speak with both of you. Thank you for taking the time. I appreciate you.
Hello. Thank you
Nice
for
to see
taking
you
the
again.
Nice to see you. Mr. Waltz, I'm going to start with you with what is sort of hopefully a fun question. I feel like after Django and now Old Guy, I feel like you are pretty close to an expert in regards to teaching someone how to be a killer. I know as an actor, when you learn skills for a role, you don't just forget them because the movie's over. I'm curious, over your incredible career, what is the greatest skill that you possess today because you had to learn it for a role for a movie and you just never really unlearned it?
acting.
What do you mean by that?
That's it. The greatest skill that I need um, when I do a job, as you would maybe call it, is responsible behavior in front of a camera. That's a skill that can be acquired, meaning anybody could do it. So I think one should.
I've got to tell you, I've seen all of the works that both of you have done. I couldn't do the level that you guys do.
Not the first time around, the 10th time, maybe.
Fair enough. I appreciate the vote of confidence, sir. I appreciate that from you. This is for both of you. I feel like this movie is a really smart and funny reminder that different generations experience and approach professions differently. I'm sort of curious for both of you, as you're seeing the new generation of actors come into this business, what is the biggest difference between the obstacles that you faced early in your career compared to what maybe some of the newer generation of actors are having to deal with?
I mean, I think it's a very different world of content now. There's streaming, there's things that you're watching. People are watching movies on their phones or on their watches. There is a greater influx of content, which is almost uncontrollable. So, I mean, that being said, the positive of that is that there's more opportunity for to shine and for there to be more diversity and more inclusion. But there's also almost too much of it. So I think, younger generations might have too much information and too much distraction. So, it's not about like what you're doing, but how many followers you have or something like that. And I don't know how they do it, but it must be very hard to balance all of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mr. Waltz, do you agree?
100%. Even worse than that. I mean, in my perspective on it, because I find it a deluge of impression and inflationary impressions that that devalue the individual topic, subject, image, and for a young impressionable person, it is virtually impossible to discern, differentiate, discriminate, make a choice. So they're exposed in an extremely vulnerable situation of their lives, and I find it close to criminal what is being flung at them.
It's fascinating. I saw an interview recently where a young actor, I think it was Maya Hawke, said that she hears from casting directors that one of the first things they look at is the number of Instagram followers, which is terrifying. It's not as, the fact that it has nothing to do with the skill and the craft, but this.
By the way, it also has nothing to do with casting, but
You're exactly right. This movie obviously it's about the value of learning from people, the value of taking directions. You have both had the experience of working with one of my all-time favorite people on this planet, Mr. Quentin Tarantino. I'd love to know from each of you, what is your favorite piece of direction Quentin ever gave each of you?
Interesting. I'm trying to think of what direction he might have given. I just, the one thing that I remember most of all is his enthusiasm and his laugh, and his love of movie making. It was more that than, saying what to do and how to do it. I think he really, when he brings somebody on board, he really knows and trusts that that person is going to bring and fulfill what he sees in the character.
Mhm.
But again, my movie was so long ago, it was shot in 2003. So it's been quite a long time. I mean, I think that's when it came out. So we shot it even earlier than that.
Wow. Wow. Mr. Waltz, what about you?
I, um, I- you know, since I don't speak English, it was him. I heard the figure of speech. Here's the thing for the first time. And here's the thing. And I thought, well, that's exactly the right thing to say. Here's the thing. What's the thing? Because I carry on about this obsessively, that all of these sensitivities, all of the, emoting, all about the trying to create, no. What's the thing? So when he said, and I heard it for the first time, here's the thing. I was like, yes, what's the thing? Because that's exactly what I'm after.
I love that.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.